When a great deal of your political ideology and messaging and movement is about making noise about things you say you care about but don't actually care about, you end up putting people in place who are the loudest voices to signal that message. And Pete Hegseth is one of these characters. Mike Waltz is one of these characters. John Ratcliffe is one of these characters. Tulsi Gabbard is one of these characters. People who ostensibly act like they care about national security, that they care about operational security. They care about our footprint on a global stage as a leader, and they make a lot of noise about it, which is not surprising. I was going to say, well, that's why it's so surprising when this happens, because it's not surprising. This article from Speigel International, I think it's a division of Der Spiegel, European newspaper, has gotten the private data, the passwords of Pete Hegseth and others from publicly available sources, some dark webby kind of things. But what this goes to show, I'm going to read a little bit from this article. What this goes to show is if a newspaper can get this information, reporters, journalists, what do you think Russia and China and our global adversaries are doing? Do you think that they're relegated to just doing online searches on personal information websites? Just Google searches, do you think? Or are they maliciously targeting the cell phones of these people, capturing their keystrokes, capturing their passwords, and then going forth into the networks of the United States government to infiltrate? What do you think? Here's the headline from Speigel International. Private data and passwords of senior U.S. security officials found online. Donald Trump's most important security advisors use Signal to discuss an imminent military strike. Now, reporting by Der Spiegel has found that the contacts data of some of those officials, including mobile phone numbers, is freely accessible on the internet. Now, is it on its face a major deal or problem for us from a security standpoint that Pete Hegseth's phone number is out there on the web? No. But what should give you pause, what should ring alarm bells in your head, is that what else is out there? If he's so sloppy, if the government cares so little about protecting his personal information, what else do they not give a shit about, right? Here's the article. Private contact details of the most important security advisors to U.S. President Donald Trump can be found on the internet. Der Spiegel reporters were able to find mobile phone numbers, email addresses, and even some passwords belonging to the top officials. To do so, the reporters used commercial people search engines along with hacked customer data that has been published on the web. Those affected by leaks include National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard, and Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth. Most of these numbers and email addresses are apparently still in use, with some of them linked to profiles on social media platforms like Instagram and LinkedIn. They were used to create Dropbox accounts and profiles and apps that track running data. There are also WhatsApp profiles for the respective phone numbers and even Signal accounts in some cases. Signal, which cannot be downloaded onto government phones, which they have on their private phones, and then they subsequently are using those private phones, those public, their own personal phones, to talk about the highest levels of strategy and operations within our military. Top secret information talked about on their personal iPhone. Fantastic. As such, the reporting has revealed an additional grave, previously unknown security breach at the highest levels in Washington. Hostile intelligence services could use this publicly available data to hack the communications of those affected by installing spyware on their devices. It is thus conceivable that foreign agents were privy to the Signal chat group in which Gabbard, Waltz, and Hegseth discussed a military strike. It was particularly easy for Der Spiegel reporters to discover Hegseth's mobile number and email address. They turned to a commercial provider of contact information that is primarily used by companies for sales, marketing, and recruitment. Der Spiegel sent the provider a link to Hegseth's LinkedIn profile and received a Gmail address and a mobile number in return, in addition to the other information. A search of leaked user data revealed that the email address and, in some cases, even the passwords associated with it could be found in over 20 publicly accessible leaks. Using publicly available information, it was possible to verify that the email address was used just a few days ago. This isn't an email address from years ago when he was just a dopey Fox News B-team morning show journalist. We're talking about now, a few days ago, when he's just a former Fox News B-team morning show host. A few days ago, using the same account from an email address that they very well could have gotten into just by typing in the password. It's unlikely that they did so, but they can do it. Do you think the Russians aren't in his email? Do you think the Chinese aren't in his email? Do you not think that the Israelis, who have a record of spying on the United States, do you not think they're in Pete Hegseth's emails? I think you would be naive if you believe they are not. The mobile number provided, meanwhile, led to a WhatsApp account that Hegseth apparently only recently deleted. The profile photo showed a shirtless Hegseth in a baseball cap and necklace. Yeah, that rings a bell. That seems on brand for Pete Hegseth. Shirtless with a necklace and an American flag cap, I'm guessing. Hegseth in a baseball cap and necklace. Comparisons with other photos of the U.S. Secretary of Defense using facial recognition software was able to confirm that the photo on the WhatsApp profile was indeed Hegseth. Or if you just have eyeballs, then you could tell that it was Hegseth. I realize they're doing their due diligence and they don't want to just have it be look like a guy who looks like him. But this is a problem. This is equally as problematic as them sharing national security secrets after having invited a journalist with no security clearance into a chat. This is a problem. And the reason we know it's a problem is because what irritates Donald Trump is that they got caught. Now they're weaving yarns about conspiracy theories that Jeffrey Goldberg was scheming and somehow hacked his way into the Signal group, to which he was invited by National Security Advisor Mike Waltz. These people are unserious. These people are unqualified. These people are merit-free clowns. They did not get there from the sweat of their brow and their accomplishments. They got there because they've kissed the asshole of Donald Trump for year upon year upon year on Fox News and Newsmax and OAN, and that's how they got their job. They ingratiated themselves to the dear leader. And they are all clueless and endangering us along the way. This is not some city councilman or county commissioner. This is the Secretary of Defense. He leads the Pentagon, the most powerful, well-funded military the earth has ever seen. Nearly $1 trillion a year we pay. We, the people, pay for our military in peacetime. And Pete Hegseth is the tip of the spear. Now, at this point, it's a very dull spear with Pete Hegseth at the tip, but it's the spear nonetheless. What do you think? I invite you to this conversation. You can comment below. You can also call the voicemail line, 714-576-4054. And of course, as always, you can email me daily@dollemore.com. Follow me on social media if that's your thing. I'm at Dollemore just about everywhere. Not on the Nazi Twitter. It's not secure enough for me. Everywhere else, though, at Dollemore, I'd love to see you. Next time, be genuine. Take care of one another.